Good morning, y'all. Come on in, come on in, come on in, share my live. Want to give you guys some live updates on what I was talking about yesterday. With my son being in the restrictive housing unit. He was let out last night. Come on in, come on in. I'm gonna wait until I have some viewers. I just figured I would go live on this morning because I don't really have time to be recording, y'all. My son called me this morning. Yeah, my plan was to get a video recording this morning when he called me, but he called me on my home phone. On my cell phone. So I could not get a recording, but I want to let you guys know why he was really in the hole. So we don't have anybody on yet. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Join my live. Share the live. This is something that everybody needs to know about. Everybody. If you have a loved one in prison, in county, it does not matter. This is something that you need to be aware of. And I just want to let you guys know, I'm giving updates live today about my son's situation, why he was really sent to the hole. They let him out last night after that last call because I knew that they knew that I was on to them. So come on in, share the live. I don't require gifts, but feel free to send them if you like. I'm just doing a little live coverage this morning, giving updates about my son and why he really went to the hole. I spoke with him this morning, and he told me what really happened. And y'all need to hear this, because this goes on a lot, and not just in prisons. It goes on in schools. It goes on everywhere. The abuse of power. The adults are worse than the children, and they're supposed to be the leaders. These are supposed to be the people that are supposed to be leading our youth today. How can we ever expect for the world to become a certain way, for anything to change, if we have the people that are higher up behaving worse than the ones beneath, the ones that are coming up under them? You're not setting an example. Adults misbehaving like children, picking, bullying. It goes on everywhere, in the workplace, in the schools. Yeah. So, I see I have a few viewers. Hello. I see a Kellen. Hello, Kellen. Hello, King Brandon. Hello, Ishan. I hope I'm saying y'all's names right. I'm sorry if I'm not. I missed a few other people that came in. My apologies. Hello to you all. Good morning on this beautiful morning. I just wanted to give a live update on my son's situation. and why he was really sent to the hole. Because as I stated in my videos on yesterday, if you guys did not watch my videos, please go watch them. Go watch them. They are not only informative, but proof of how they do things and try to hide it, try to cover it up. And if you have a loved one that's in prison or in any facility, it's important to know how they behave. You know, just because people are in certain positions and hold certain titles, that don't make them pure. That don't make them responsible. That don't make them smart. A lot of them are unprofessional, very much so unprofessional. But anyway, I'm going to get right to it because I see I have a few people that are here. And there's probably not going to be a whole lot more join right now because I don't have a lot of followers. So y'all share the live. Share the live. But so my son called me on this morning, and I promised y'all that I would give an update this morning. I could not do a video because he called me on my cell phone. So when I was speaking to him, you know, he was telling me what happened on the day of him being taken to the hole. Now, mind you, when he called me first Saturday, it was because he had a seizure. My son has epilepsy. And he said he had been refusing his medication, and because the lines were long, so he ended up having a seizure. And immediately when he woke up from his seizure, mind you, it could take him anywhere from 30 minutes to maybe 40 minutes to fully become aware again after he has a seizure. So he said that he was handcuffed to the bed. Now, the first thing that they should not have done was handcuff him to the bed. You know, because somebody that's having a seizure can kill you. A seizure can kill you. Somebody can fall and hit their head the wrong way. Somebody can swallow their tongue. They can get choked on. You know, a seizure can kill you. And so they handcuffed my son to the bed, and they accused him of drugs, smoking in his room, in prison. And I know in prison, you know, they have access to drugs. I know that. I'm not stupid. But my son just got to this location February the 10th. So we have not been able to put any monies on his commissary at all. Hey, cuz, how you doing? We have not been able to put any monies on any of his commissary or anything because we have to fill out a form to be approved for visitations and, you know, such. So my son doesn't have access to monies or, you know, to purchase anything. He's basically in the intake part of the prison. And so he said that one of the COs told him, he was in the nurse's office, and he said one of the COs came back and told him, we found drugs in your room. Okay, so my son said he told them, no, you didn't find no drugs in my room because I don't have drugs in my room. I don't smoke. You know, I had a seizure because I have a medical condition. So he called me. He said, Mama, I had a seizure, and they're trying to accuse me of smoking. They're threatening to send me to the hole. And so I contacted the front. Like, listen, my son is, you know, disabled. He has a medical condition. He has seizures. He takes medication for that. You know, I'm just trying to make sure that you guys are not intending to punish him for a medical condition. And I also asked them, why in the world did y'all cuff my son to the bed? Why are you trying to criminalize the fact that he had a seizure? And the lady said, well, we did that for his safety and for the safety of the staff, because sometimes when they have seizures, they swing and, you know, arms flail and they hit, you know, other people or they hurt themselves. Wrong. You know, you don't handcuff somebody that's having a seizure or has had a seizure, you know. So anyway, they assured me that he wasn't going to the hole for that. So I hadn't heard from my son anymore. And then he finally said, I didn't eat, nothing because, when I had the seizure, I was in the nurse's office, so they didn't feed me that day either. So I spoke with somebody about that as well. And my son said that they told him if they rewind the cameras back and they see that he ate, he was going to the hole. So I'm like, why are they trying to criminalize you for having a seizure? Why are they trying to punish you for having a seizure? Everything resorted to him. They wanted to send him to the hole for everything. For after he had the seizure, they wanted to say he was on doing drugs. Then when he said he didn't eat, they wanted to say if he had, they were going to send him to the hole. Everything was leading back to the hole. So I hadn't heard from my son. Sunday passed. Didn't hear from him. So I knew that was unlike him because he usually calls me at least 2 to 3 times a day. At least. So Monday, I called and I said, actually I called late Sunday night. It was probably about 1 a.m. And so then I called later Monday, and I said, listen, I haven't spoke with my son. He had a seizure, on Friday. And he was afraid of being sent to the hole or what have you for whatever reasons. And so everybody kept assuring me, no, he's fine. The phones are working fine. I don't know why he's not calling you. Thank you, Nathalia. Thank you, sweetheart. Yes, I'm going to step for my children every time. Every time, because that's all they have. Your child doesn't have anybody else. Right or wrong, they don't have anybody else. And if they're wrong, you take them to the side and handle that later. But in any situation, you're there for them no matter what. They need to know you have their backs, period. So, yeah. So, the lady assured me that he wasn't going to the hole for that. So, but I called them and I said, well, I haven't heard from my son and I'm concerned because he had a seizure. And, I just want to make sure everything is okay with him. And she said, well, the phones are working fine. I'm not sure why he's not calling. He's in regular housing. And so I said, well, she said, I'll transfer you to his caseworker and she can give you more information. So they transferred me to the caseworker. I spoke with her. She said, well, due to HIPAA, I can't give you any information. I said, well, listen, I just want to know if he's okay because I haven't heard from him. I said, can you go lay eyes on him? Make sure he's okay. Let me know. I said, in the meantime, can you get a release of information form signed so that I can speak to you on behalf of my son? Because he is disabled. I am his representative, and I need to be able to speak to you all. So, of course, she got an attitude right off the bat. Did not want to cooperate with me. And that was fine. I wasn't going to stop. So, eventually, after they didn't, give me any information, she told me that she had gotten the form to him, but I have to check back to see when he fills it out. Okay, as long as you got it to him, I'm fine. So, still nobody would tell me, that he was in the restrictive housing unit. So, there was a young lady that had been calling for her people, for my son when his pen wouldn't work, which was another sign that something was wrong, because I remember on the day he called me, he wasn't able to use his own pen. He had to use, somebody else had to call with their pen for him, and he kept saying, Mama, my pen won't work. My voice thing won't work. It's acting up. They didn't want him to call me. Because they knew that he was trying to let me know what was going on. And this is the shit they do, y'all. I'm telling you, if you have a loved one on the inside, you have to check on them, be aware, stay vigilant, because these people are abusing their power, and they do it and they try to do it and hide their hands. So my son said, I had, my homeboy let me use his to call you. And that's when he told me everything that had happened. That's when I called and got on their asses at the front. So Monday, when I called them, fast forward back to Monday, she said, she sent me to the caseworker. I talked with her. So the girl was the one that called me back Monday evening and said, my people said that they came and got him a few days ago and took him to the hole, but he doesn't know why because he didn't do anything. So here we go back to this hole. And everybody had been lying to me since Saturday. No, he's fine. He's in regular housing. My baby had been in the hole since Saturday evening around 8 o'clock. I finally managed to get in touch with one of the administrators on Tuesday, who told me, I was explaining to him about the seizure situation. He assured me it wasn't because of that. It's not because of that. It was something else that happened Saturday evening around 8 o'clock. So I said, okay, well, can you tell me, what that was? What happened? Well, I don't know. The sergeant that sent him there that was on duty that night, he'll have to be the one to tell you because, he doesn't have anything in the system. So I don't know. Okay, that's the second thing. If anybody took any disciplinary action towards my son, they should have documented it in the system. There was no reason why this sergeant didn't have whatever he put my son in the hole for. He hadn't documented it in the system. So that was the second red flag for me, that I knew that something was up. So he said, well, call him back. He'll be on shift tomorrow night, which was Wednesday. So Wednesday night, I called back to try to speak to the sergeant. Immediately, I heard a man mumbling in the background, and the lady said, he busy right now. I'm going to take your number, and can I take a name and number? I said, yeah, have him call Renata Washington. I want to know, what happened with my son while he's in restrictive housing. So they knew me. I'm talking about the way they were screening that caller ID. Y'all, I called this morning to ask a question. The lady knew me. I didn't even have to tell her my name. They watched the caller ID. They got to the point where they would not even pick up for me. So the man, he was dodging me. So it was about 9 o'clock when I called him first. So I waited and I tried back around 9:50 that night. And they transferred me to the captain. So he's a old nasty man. I can send anybody to the slammer I want anytime I get ready. I said, yeah, you can. I said, but if you got my baby down there in that hole for having a seizure, I'm putting a complaint on y'all's ass. I said, because my son is disabled and he had a seizure and he can't help that. And y'all are refusing to tell me why he's down there. It's public information. We can't tell you. I'm not the public. I'm his mother. I'm not the public. And he's disabled. I'm his representative. All I want to know is why my son is in the hole. That's all I want to know. So they made it seem like it was some top secret, some pending charge that they just could not tell me. So a few other people here in between would tell me stuff like, oh, yesterday a girl told me he just there for a 3-day cool down. I said, okay, well, he should be out because he was there since Saturday, 8 p.m., 3 days. Today is Thursday. Either way, he should be out. So when I spoke to the supervisor, and y'all can go back and listen to the calls, they're recorded. The man said, no, that's not accurate. I don't know why she told you that. That's an error. He's not there for a cool down. It's a pending investigation. It's a pending charge. And so, as a matter of fact, I think this might be him. This is him. You getting ready to go to work? All right, have a good day. I love you. Be safe.
This call will be monitored and please hold.
I might have to put money on my house phone, y'all. I got money on my cell phone, but not on my house phone.
Any transaction you complete with GTL,
so I'm not going to be able to talk to him right now. And he's probably going to call me on my cell phone next, which means I'm going to have to get off with y'all. And I hate that because I wasn't finished talking.
January 15th, 2019. The rate for call.
He's going to call me on my cell phone. But yeah, make a long story short, they had him down there. He said that Saturday, the other COs were picking on him about a seizure. Aren't you the one that had a seizure? And he told them, yeah. Well, how you started having those? You try to rob somebody and they shot you in the leg, laughing at my son. So my son said, he became frustrated and started talking trash to him. And he said that, he was with another inmate and they were in the line to do something. And the inmate was saying how, the COs are very disrespectful and that they're rude and that, they do that stuff in there. But if they saw them on the streets, it would be different. The other inmate said that. The lady calling me, y'all. I knew he was going to call me. The lady came and got my son and told him that she was writing him up because they were talking about the COs. Mind you, they just got done picking at my son, making fun of my son's medical condition. The COs, the ones that's supposed to be overseeing these young men while they are there. You understand what I'm saying? In their bullying, taunting, why are you picking on someone about their medical condition? And then when they spaz on you, they're wrong. So either way it go, either way you wrap it up, tie in one big bow, I don't care. They sent my baby to the hole for having a seizure. That's what it all boils down to. Because how you gonna send him to the hole for speaking up to somebody who was making fun of him with a medical condition that he has absolutely no control over? Huh? How you do that? How you send? And he did say, before I forget y'all, he did say that he was supposed to be there on a 3-day cool down. Either way, he was in there too damn long. A 3-day cool down, too long. From Saturday to Thursday night, last night. He was only there. Now, mind you, the other girl told me this. The one that claimed they don't handcuff people to the bed. She did say that he was there for a 3-day hold. Last night did tell me that he wasn't there for anything major. But my big question is, what I want to know is why they went through all that hell to keep something so simple from me. You understand? Why? Y'all act like my son had such a, pending investigation, pending charge. They got until March the 8th to charge him. Charge him with what? They made it seem like my son was down there for something bad. You see what I'm saying? What about that you couldn't disclose to me? It's not public information. What about that you couldn't tell me? You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. It don't add up. And that's why I said I knew they were hiding something. At the end of the day, They sent my baby to that hole because he had a seizure. That's what it all boiled down to. They wanted to send him to the hole. They had threatened to send him to the hole. And they found the most tedious thing to send my baby to that hole for, because they knew they couldn't send him down there for what they wanted to send him for. So they found something. This is what they do inside these facilities. This is what they do. They do it in the schools. They do it in workplaces. This is why my children are homeschooled now, because I don't play this shit. I'm telling you, I will go off when it comes to my children. Schools, these teachers, they get in there, they fuck with these kids, and as soon as the kids say something, oh, you're right up, you're going to the office, you're going to end school, I'm calling your parent, and they think that just because they said something, you're going to take their word over your child's word. And I encourage anybody, look into that shit before you make a final decision. Always look into it. I don't care what it is. I don't care how big or how small. You be the one to determine how big or how small something is. Don't ever let another motherfucker tell you, oh, I wouldn't worry about that. Oh, I wouldn't listen to that. No, they might not. And that's their business. But you be the judge of what you do and how you do it. Look into this shit, because I'm telling you, these people in these facilities, they abuse their power. They bully these kids. They bully adults, vulnerable adults. They write down something and they will swear that their word is true and that their word is law just because of their title, just because of who they are. Baby, I don't care if you're Moses. If my child comes to me and tell me something, I'm looking into that shit. I don't care. And the least little inconsistency I find, you're under investigation until I declare you're not. And I don't care how mad you get. I don't care how irritated you get. You're and I don't care how mad you get. I don't care how irritated you get. You're under. Okay, y'all. So that was my son. I apologize. I answered for him really quick because I couldn't answer him on the house phone. I have to ask for money. But yeah, look into the things that happen around you, especially when it comes to your children, because these people in these systematic places, they a trip. I'm telling you, this whole situation is wild. They had me on this rabbit hunt all week, talking about my son has some kind of pending charge, pending investigation. Whole time he in there for a cool down because he spazzed on a CEO for making fun of his medical condition. On the same day or next day, I don't know if he had the seizure Friday night, early Saturday morning. I don't know when he had it, but I know it was between Friday and Saturday. And he called me on Saturday Saturday, morning, and said that he had the seizure. When he came out of it, he was handcuffed to the bed, was being accused of drugs. They said they had found drugs in his room, all of this crazy stuff. And I'm like, my son just got there on the 10th. He can't even get money. We can't even send him money until all of his stuff is processed in. I haven't even gotten his form to be approved for visitations and stuff like that. So, where he gonna get the drugs from? How he gonna pay for it? We can't even send him money. And so they were threatening to put him in the hole. I called down, I talked to him. They assured me, no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. But lo and behold, later on that day, that evening, even after my son said he hadn't ate, he's like, Mama, I didn't eat, because I had the seizure. The man said, well, if I run the camera back and you ate, you going to the hole. Then after that, I guess when he was going down, he did say when he was going down, they was going down to get the food or something, to the 4th floor or something like that. He said that him and another inmate, I guess, was together, and the guy was picking at him about the seizures. And I guess, he said some things to the man. And after the altercation, him and another inmate was speaking about how the COs were disrespectful. And the other inmate made the, comment about, they do that in here, but if it was on the streets, it would be something different. And he said the lady came and wrote him up and took him to the hole. How you blame my son for something somebody else said? Or even if you didn't blame him for what the other person said, how you gonna take him to the hole for defending himself? This man picking at him about his medical condition. A grown man. Another grown man. Picking at him about his medical condition. I mean, it's wild. But that's what they do in these places. But not to mine. I'm going to stay on it. But so they let my baby out last night. He's out. He called me. I just got off the phone with him again. So yeah, I just wanted to come on really quick. Just to let y'all know what the real reason was that he was in there, because I told y'all when I found out I was going to let y'all know. And I wanted to do a live coverage because I figured that it would take me longer to tell the story, to talk about it, than me doing, I didn't want to have to do parts of, videos. And plus I'm trying to get Chloe's feed ready. So, I just figured I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I could talk and do what I do at the same time. So, and plus I never go live. So this is me going live. So y'all gonna start seeing and hearing from me a little bit more now that I got something to talk about. I mean, I always had something to talk about. I just never really liked going live. But this situation right here, this is one of those things that even when you want to be silent, you just speak up, because even if not for me, it might help somebody else. I've always been about helping other people. I've never been a gatekeeper. I've never been selfish. So even if, not for myself, if what I'm talking about might be helpful to somebody else, because either way, the stuff they do is just really messed up. His social worker, she called me back yesterday being all nice after I finally spoke to her supervisor and told him how she had been ducking and dodging me, and all I was trying to do was advocate on behalf of my son. So I guess he got on her. She called me being all nice. She done got the forms to him I asked for. I asked for a reasonable accommodations form as well as a release of information. She got that stuff down to him. So, yeah. I mean, that's my job to make sure that my kid is straight. I don't care what he did. You know, he's still my child, and he has he has needs. He has medical needs, medical care that's mandatory. He needs to see the neurologist. You know, like I told them, they got to figure out a way to get him to the neurologist because he got to see the neurologist. You know, he in y'all custody, so it's y'all's responsibility to make sure he get that care that he was getting on the outside. And under the U.S. Constitution, he's entitled to that. If he doesn't get it, that's a violation of his rights. So, you know, I'm going to make sure that he gets all the care he needs. And I'm going to hold them accountable. Because, like I said, my son shouldn't even be there. He shouldn't even be there. That bullshit lawyer he had that the court appointed him, they knew that man didn't handle no criminal cases. How you going to appoint somebody, a family attorney, for a felony criminal case? They knew what they was doing from the start with. That's systematic abuse. It's bullshit. And they know it. They do it, and they think we stupid. We can't figure it out. And you know, I'm gonna be honest, I knew that I needed to change my son's lawyer, but I was so busy with the stuff with my daughter, with my Chloe. Say hello, Chloe. Let me show y'all my Chloe real quick. If I could figure out how to flip this camera. This is why I don't go live, y'all. Because I don't be knowing these new platforms and stuff. I don't be knowing how to operate these things. This is my Chloe. Say good morning, Chloe. Say good morning, Chloe. Say good morning. Say good morning, girl. But yeah, I was so busy, you know, taking care of my baby because Chloe was born early. She was supposed to be born July of 25. She was born in June. And when she was born, she had some difficulties eating on her own, maintaining her body temperature. So she ended up having to go in the NICU. And when she went in the NICU, she was there for a month and 2 weeks. And so, you know, I was back and forth to the hospitals, you know, trying to see about her. I had just lost my dad. My dad passed away April of last year, April 24th of last year. And so, you know, I was dealing with so much at one time. I just did not have the capacity to navigate everything, you know. So I knew I needed to look into having his attorney switched because I knew the man didn't know shit. You know, I was in there and I would have to advocate, stand up and speak on behalf of my son because he would be in there stammering, stuttering, and all of that, you know. And so, and I went to school for criminal justice and with the concentration of pre-law. So I'm no dummy to the law. I know it. You know, I just didn't finish school because I got pregnant with my second son and I was sick all the time and I dropped out. I had been going to college fresh out of high school. I had Zai 3 months. I was 3 months pregnant when I graduated. So I had my first daughter. I was going to school. I was working. And then I got pregnant with my son. So when I got pregnant with my son, I was like, you know what? I'm sick all the time and I just couldn't do it. So I stopped. And then, you know, throughout the years, I went back. I went to Kaplan University, which is now Purdue Global. I went to American Intercontinental University. So I have my transcripts that I transferred to Central Piedmont. So I have my credits And now I'm back in school as a paralegal because I figured, with my knowledge of the law, I could go in as a paralegal, work up under an attorney, and eventually, get what I need until I'm ready to go take the bar and, become an attorney. I'm not giving up because I know that's where I'm supposed to be. That's my passion. I love helping people. I hate injustice. I hate people when they doing this shit knowing it's wrong and they thinking they can get over on people because people don't have a voice. I've always wanted to be the voice for the people. Always. My whole life I've been solving shit and people been like, how you do that? How you do that? Baby, the next person is a person just like me. If I can sit down beside you, if you put your pants on like I put my pants on, if you lace up and tie your shoes or snap them motherfuckers like I snap mine, it's nothing that you can do that I can't. The only difference between me and you may be your title, your achievements, your accomplishments. But there is no difference. I can do just as much. I have done it. I have done it all. I can go in any profession and do it. Whether I'm certified to or not, I can do it. I can do it. And it starts with confidence first. You have to first have that confidence. That's the first thing. If you lack confidence, you can cancel Christmas. Confidence is first. If you got confidence and faith, everything else follows. And I'm a very faithful person. You see what happened yesterday? I got up yesterday morning with the attitude of I'm tired of this. And I had been praying and praying and praying and praying to God. You go upstairs in my closet, there's probably a print space where I get down on my knees or on the other side of my bed. I had been praying to God. Bed and talk to him. I don't always get on my knees and talk to God. I lay in my bed and talk to him too. Anytime I get in with him, don't matter. But I talked to God and I had told him, you know what, Lord, I'm tired of this. And don't get me wrong, I have a lawyer, but I'm still trying to raise up all the money for him because these lawyers not cheap. It's not cheap, and $12,000 is not a little bit of money. So yeah. So I'm working on getting my baby up out of there because he ain't got no business in there to start with. But while he's there, they damn sure ain't gonna fuck over him. That's number one. No. If I got to sit on that phone all day, I'll sit all day. If I got to call them all day, if I don't care how mad or aggravated they get with me, baby, I done learned how to keep my temper under control. I done learned how to tame the beast in me. Because I used to be a motherfucker too. And anybody that know me can tell you that. But I done learned how to tame the beast in me. And now, they can't do nothing with me. Nothing. They be pushing my buttons too. I just stay calm. Come back with knowledge. Hit them with knowledge. When they make you mad, hit them with facts. I don't argue with people straight out the bat. I collect facts first. Because see, when you arguing with me, you arguing about shit that you reckon. Shit that you think. I'm arguing with you about facts. I'm coming at you with facts. Shit that I know that's gonna have you in your head for hours. Yeah, you finna wrestle with yourself for hours. So think about it before you come for me. Because I'm gonna fuck with you hard. Yep. because I stay in my lane. But if you cross over them white lines into oncoming traffic, there will be a collision. That's right. So they ain't gonna mess over my boy while he in there. I'm gonna protect him at all costs, because I know that he has already been given the short end of the stick to begin with. The lawyer that he had was a shitty lawyer, and he coerced my son behind my back. They waited until my son turned 18. My son was 16 when this happened. He was in the presence of another adult, a man just as old as me. He shouldn't have been. Don't get me wrong for 1 minute. He shouldn't have been, and I had told him countless times. I had told him, but he wouldn't listen to me, because he was smelling his little ass. He thought he was grown. And so, but he ain't got no business in there, and I'm going to get him out of there. Yeah. But until I do, they ain't going to fuck over him. I called them all day yesterday. I had been talking to them since Saturday. Nobody would give me an answer. Nobody would talk to me. They kept putting me off, hitting me with bullshit. Oh, we pending investigation. Oh, he just there for a 3-day hold. Y'all, shit ain't adding up. It ain't adding up. Y'all got my baby in there for a seizure. A seizure. I don't care what y'all saying. Bottom line, y'all got him in there for a seizure. And that last night, when I called that last lady on that second shift, she let my baby out of there, because she knew that I knew what was going on. I had too much details for her, and they didn't know how I knew, because they fucked up the pen where my baby couldn't call me. They fucked up the phones where he couldn't call me, but he got somebody else to do it. He got somebody else to do it. And they didn't know that. And that person that they got to do it, I was able to double back and check on my boy to find out where he was, because they weren't trying to tell me nothing. But I'm very resourceful. Very. And if it's anything to be found out, I'm going to find it out. Y'all, I should have been a private investigator. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Wasting my life away. I should have been a private investigator. I'm telling you. Y'all, let me tell y'all a funny story. My husband 1 year, right? This was before we got married, though. I was pregnant with our first child. He went one weekend talking about, I'm going to the beach with my homeboys. So you know me, I let him go. I ain't no smothering type woman. You know what I'm saying? You a grown man, you free to move about however you want. Because if you know you're not responsible, then you reap the consequences. Simple as that. So my husband was in his email trying to do something. He had a phone trying to do something in his email, and the email came through to my phone, because I had his email in my phone as well, as my email is his backup email. So the email came through to me, and I'm looking like, what is he doing? Trying to set up some phone. It was a phone, something about trying to set up a phone. Finish setting up your something, Galaxy, some kind of phone he was trying to set up. So anyway, you know, I'm like, what is he doing? Because, you know, the phone should have already been set up. So why me getting this email was already suspect. Like, what is going on? So y'all, I Googled the IP address from the email. put it in the search engine, clicked on it, and pulled up the hotel he was at. I called him. I said, I thought you told me you was. He started stuttering all over it. No, baby, let me tell you. I said, let me tell you something. If you not here within a certain amount of time, don't even worry about coming. When I tell you my husband got on the next bus and was back in my presence within an hour and a half, 2 hours, he got on the first thing smoking to get back. I said, because you already, I'm just here with such and such. I ain't gonna call no names. He was there with a friend, and the friend had went there to a party with his sister, and there was a bunch of other girls there, and the girls, I'm guessing it was supposed to be like a hookup type thing. And my husband sitting up there, I know he knew about it, but he didn't think I was gonna find out. So anyway, I put in that IP address, baby, found the hotel he was at, and I called and told him exactly where he was. He couldn't believe it. He was like, how you know it? Don't worry about how I know. But I know you better get your ass back here within a certain amount of time, or else you can cancel Christmas. Don't even worry about coming back this way. Now, we weren't married yet. I was pregnant with our first baby. Like Glorilla say, oh, he thought I wasn't going to get up out of there. Yeah, I would have got up out of there. Baby in the bun and all. Baby in the oven and all. Because I don't play them kind of games. I share my food, maybe. Depending on what I'm eating. I share my food. And I might share Uber. But baby, we ain't sharing nothing else. I ain't sharing my money. I ain't sharing my man. We ain't sharing nothing else. Nothing. So if I got to split you anyway, that way, go ahead on that way. If it come down to you having to pick and choose between me and anything, go ahead and choose that. Because I ain't second to nothing. It's all or nothing with me. All or nothing. My mama taught me not to be selfish. I don't mind giving. I already know it's more women on earth than men. And I know some of them are not as fortunate. So, hey, if that's where you want to be, go ahead on, partner. Don't hold me up. Don't hold me up, because I can promise you the line is worse than the food stamp line. Government ain't got nothing on me. Nothing. Not a thing. Talking about government shutdown. I'll show you how to shut it down. Yes, sir. So, yeah, I just wanted to come to y'all. I'm glad I can make y'all laugh. Thank y'all for watching me. But, yeah, I just wanted to come on here and, give y'all a little update on my son, what his situation was, what happened with him, how they was trying to play me, because, y'all, they was trying to play me. They was like, oh, it's nothing major. And then the other ones was like, oh, it's pending investigation. All week long, and they couldn't tell me my baby was in there for a cool down. Past the 3 days that he was supposed to be in there for. Anyway, but I called them so much yesterday and got on. They got my baby out of there. That lady let my baby out of there last night. He called me at 10:53. And when I saw the number pop up on my phone, I said, look at God. Won't he do it? God will do it. I'm trying to tell you. He'll do it every time. They knew I was on to him, though. They knew it. They knew they had been doing wrong with my baby. And they knew that I was not going to stop. I was going to aggravate the soul out of them if I had to. And I wasn't being nasty. Not one of them could tell you I call being nasty to him. And that's new for me. Because I'm normally on 10 from the start with. But like I said, I had to learn to not be like that because it doesn't help. And they would have stopped talking to me. They would have, why is these people got me doing a puzzle? TikTok so crazy. I just had to do a puzzle for audio. But yeah, I was gonna call them until I was blue in the face. I didn't care how long it took. I called them in the middle of the night, every shift. They open 24 hours. I calls them 24 hours. Any time of the day or night about my baby. I sure do. I know the administrators don't come in till 8 a.m. I still want to put it on record at 3, 4 in the morning. Yep. If something comes across my mind about my child and I want to know, or, I feel like I need to talk to somebody, I'm going to call. I don't care what time it is. I'm that parent. I will aggravate the life out of you about my child. Because, people say, I don't know what it is about us women with a lot of kids, but a lot of people stereotype us for, our children not receiving, how they take care of all them kids don't get equal care. Baby, all my kids get equal care. Equal love. They get equality from me. All of them. I don't do nothing for one that I can't do for the other one. When I go in the store and I buy something for my child, I buy for all of them. And it don't have to be no holiday. They get all year long. That's why Christmas time and stuff like that, I'm not big on them holidays. I don't give a rat's rump about those because my children get all year long. I'm that parent. I'm in the store every time I see something, I'm buying it for my child. Big or small. I make big purchases in the middle of the year. No reason at all. If I see it and I want it and I can afford it, I buy it. It doesn't have to be a special holiday for me. And I'm that way because I was raised that way. My mother was that way. There was only 3 of us. And my mom was a single parent. But she had the support of my grandmother. So even though she was a single parent, we still did not lack for anything. Christmas time, our tree was full. And I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm trying to figure out how my mama did it. I'm trying to figure out how she did it. That's why I say, I appreciate my mom. I don't understand how people could walk around here holding grudges against their mama. I don't. How you could say you don't like your mama. Oh, this and that. Oh, if she did something to you, well, you know what? A person is only as good as the ones before them. A lot of them grew up in trauma. A lot of them were raised on different traditions and they bring them, still carrying on traditions. Me personally, I'm trying to break traditions. I'm not a traditional person. A lot of things that I grew up on, I don't really do with my children. Like the whole Santa Claus, Easter Bunny shit. No, ain't nobody else getting credit for something that ain't gonna happen if I don't make it happen. Because if I ain't got no money to buy y'all no gift, ain't no jolly man coming down my chimney to give y'all nothing. As a matter of fact, we ain't got no chimney. I'm sorry. I just don't. My kids, I'm straight raw with my children. They get the truth from me. I'm not giving nobody else credit for something that I have to do. And if I don't do it, don't get done. I'm sorry. So, You know, that's just me. But yeah, a lot of stuff, I'm not traditional. There are some things that I still do with my kids that I was raised up on, but most of it, there are some things that I just don't do. You know, yeah, Eva, we ain't got no chimney. Oh, baby, let me tell you something. I talk like this, but best believe when it come down to handling business, I know how to use my proper grammar. I promise you. I'm on here being me. I'm on here being me. And I'm going to be me. And I'm not going to change me for nobody. But best believe, I know how to get that grammar in check. Baby, I was in JROTC in high school on the drill team. I was the class leader. You understand what I'm saying? That's why they say don't judge the book by its cover. There's a lot to me, baby. A lot. But one thing about it, I'm gonna be me. I ain't changing that for nobody. I'm comfortable in my skin. You know why? Because I'm the one got to feel it. You can't feel me, baby. You can brush right past me. You can't feel what I felt. You can feel what you felt. But you can't feel what I felt. Even though you brush past me. Our skin can connect. You still can't feel what I felt. So I'ma be me regardless. I don't give a hoot nanny what who think. But just know that when it comes down to it, hey Lexus, y'all my chat. But yeah, I'ma be me, baby, all day long. I don't care who don't like it. I don't care who got what to say. At the end of the day, I got to live with me. I got to, everything about me, I got to deal with it. You ain't got to feel, see, hear, speak, nothing when it come to me. And I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. Just know that if ever you step into an arena with me, prepare yourself, baby. Yeah, don't underestimate. Yeah, she might get on here and act a fool. She might get on here and look a hot damn mess. But if you see me out and about, you won't know I was the same person. Less I told you. Guarantee it. I could go sit down beside you in the most expensive place. You wouldn't know I was ever this old beat down raggedy woman on social media. Guarantee you. When I get ready to get me together, baby, I shock the world. You understand? That's why I don't care about being me. I ain't ashamed to do nothing I do because I know when I get ready to snatch it together, you won't know. You ain't gonna know the difference anyway. You be talking about that old beat down raggedy chick you saw on social media, baby. I'll be sitting right beside you, sipping tea with you, eating a cookie. You saw it too. Yeah. Hey y'all. Yeah. Straight like that. I'm real. I'm one of the most realest ones. They just don't come like me no more. And it's only a few of us left. And the only way you gonna recognize them, you got to be one. If you ain't one, you ain't gonna understand. And that's all right too. Ain't no judgment over here because I don't even care. And I'm just being honest. I don't care, that's you. I'm good. Either way. I'm good. I wake up every day. I get to take care of my children. God bless me to still have them all. You know how many people done buried children. Y'all know I lay in my bed at night and cry for other people. I do. I'm such a pure-hearted person. When I get on my knees and pray, yeah, Alexis, I'm on live. You know I'm gonna get back with you, girl. You know I'm coming. Yeah, I get on. I'm in my bed. I cry for other people at night. That's how pure my heart is. When I pray and I talk to God, I tell God about other people and their problems. You know, I feel for other people. If I read the news, if I saw something on TV, if I met somebody and they told me their story, depending on what happened, I talk to them. Yes, Jesus Christ, God, yes, the only one. Let me tell you something. I don't know if that was supposed to be like a trick question or whatever, but baby, let me tell you something. I believe in God, Jesus Christ, and God, the Son of God, the one who died for all our sins. I don't care about all that other stuff. So no need to get in my comments with all of that. Now, whatever you believe in, whatever you pray to, that's your business. Like I said, I don't judge people. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's you. That's between you and whoever you talk to. But I know who showed up for me. I know who always showed up for me. I know who carried me. And that's the word I was raised up on. I don't get into all that other stuff. All that other stuff people talk about all over the world, whoever, all them other gods and religions and all that. I don't get into all that. I don't even get on my live with that, because you finna aggravate me, and now you fixing to bring another side out of me that I don't want to come out. So I'm gonna rebuke you in the name of Jesus, and I'm gonna ask you to keep it moving. Either you gonna watch and don't speak, or slide on out my live, because I don't have time for that, baby. But as I was saying, I pray to God and I cry for other people. Because there are people, I got friends that's gone, people I went to school with that ain't even here no more. I'm 43 years old. My birthday in October. I'll be 44. I pray to God I can see it. I do. I thank God for my life, because there's a lot of people that's just not here anymore. And I bet you they didn't think that they wouldn't be. I thank God for everything that he has blessed me with, me and my children, because as I said, I'm still blessed to have all my children with me. I had 9 children. My oldest child is 24. She'll be 25 in December. I pray God let her see it. And I still stay on her like she Chloe age, and Chloe is 9 months. I stay on my kids. I keep my foot on their neck. And if you know me, you know. Now, I might not be able to hold them down, but that don't stop me from trying. It don't. And sometimes I have to knuckle up with them. And I do. And they'll tell you I do. But whatever it takes to make sure they get back home to me, to make sure that they not out here being taken advantage of by the next, I don't care what people say. I don't. Yeah, I get mad because I'm a human. I still do get very mad. I get very angry. I do. But my heart still bleeds. I cry for people. Like I say, I got people that I went to school with, friends that I know, they have lost children, and my heart goes out to them. And I lay in my bed at night crying, because honest to God, if it were me, I don't know what I'd be doing. I don't. I don't think I can handle it. God know I can't handle it. And that's the only reason why I believe that all of my children are still here with me. Because he know I just ain't ready for that. You know, that's why the words say he know our hearts. He made us. He know all about us. He know what people can stand and what they can't stand. That's why they say, if he take you to it, he'll take you through it. Because he already know what you can handle. You too, sweetheart. It's been great seeing you too. Thank you. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for joining. I'll be coming back some more because, like I said, I don't really do live because, you know, I really don't be having nothing to talk about. I have stuff to talk about, but I don't be wanting to talk about it. Let's just put it like that. So, yeah, thank y'all for watching me. Thank y'all for supporting. But, yeah, so, yeah, I do. I pray to God all the time, you know, for people to, to heal their hearts when they, heartbroken, when they hurt, when they don't understand, when people are in need. Somebody came in my inbox one time and they was like, what would you do if $200 million or something like that showed up on your doorstep? And I was like, honestly, I'm a person, I think I could change the world. And I love doing for people. So I would probably use the money to help everybody, help all the people that I would know that would have a need, because that's who I am. I'm the type of person I could be struggling, got down to my last dollar. But if you come in here and you say, well, darn, Nada, I'm just hurting so bad. I ain't got this. I ain't got that. I'll give you that last dollar. And a lot of people say, well, I wouldn't give them my last dollar. Baby, I'll have that back before they leave. I'm a hustler by heart. I'll give it to them. I'm already in my head thinking how I'm going to get it back. And that's why I believe I'm blessed. Because the Bible say, bless the child that has his own. I've always tried to have my own. And my mama will tell you that. I left her house at 19. I got my first apartment at 19. I had my first daughter and I got my apartment and I was out of there. And my mama always told me, she said, you ain't got to leave. You ain't got to go nowhere. I know. But I want to, because I got a child now, and I wanna raise and take care of my child. That's the attitude I've always had. Never was a person sit around want somebody to do for me. I always wanted to do for myself. I'm the person, I would dig myself so deep, and my mom would be like, why you don't never ask for no help? You wait till you get buried so deep to ask for help. Because I'm busy trying to dig myself out. I'm trying to do it myself. I want to do it myself. And my grandma, she sat me down one day and she said, baby, you going to need somebody in this life. You can't do it all by yourself. She had to tell me that, because in my mind, I didn't need nobody. I would sit around and struggle and go through by myself. Because I was determined to fix it by myself. I was. As a matter of fact, at a point in my life, I used to get mad when I used to have to get help from my mama now. I used to get mad when I would get in debt or get in a situation where I needed them to help me. I would get mad. Because I wanted to do it myself. I didn't want nobody to help me. And now, even as an adult, in a sense, I'm still like that. I'm still a self, I want to do it all myself. Even around the house, people like, well, you should make them kids do. Baby, they don't clean up like me. They don't clean up like me. I'll let them clean up. I'm still going right behind them, checking to see, oh, they left a crumb. I got to sweep the whole floor over. I mean, I can't help it. That's just me. You know, I mean, you know, they wiping down something. I see them half wiping. I go snatch the rag. Just give me the rag. You know, I'll do it. You know, that's just me. I don't like stuff being half done. I don't like stuff being out of place. You know, that's why I get so angry and irritated with these workplaces and stuff when people are half-assing and half doing their jobs, because it's like the era we grew up in. It was tight. It was everything was. They taught us to be perfect, close to perfect as perfect could get. That's the way we was brought up. Do it right. They took the time to teach us. You know, step by step. Nowadays, a lot of places, a lot of things, people are going into these things and people are not really taking the time out to really demonstrate. They more or less throw something down at you and expect you to, just read through that, and just how you figure that person can comprehend that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to say that everybody is slow or everybody is dumb, but you do have people that comprehend on different levels. You know, you could sit 5 people side by side and say the exact same thing to them. I guarantee you 2 out of 3 of those people, if not every other one, is going to interpret something totally different. They not all gonna get the same thing out of that. You know, and that's just the truth. So nowadays, you know, they don't really break down things anymore. They give it to you and they expect you to be able to just go off and look at it and read it or navigate it. And you might do that. You might can do it. But when you don't do it right, or when you don't do it to their liking, then they'll say, oh, well, that's wrong, or you didn't do what I told you to do. You never told me what to do. You gave me some information and you left me alone with it. And so I took from it what I could comprehend, and I did the best that I could do. That's the way of this world now. And your best is never enough. I don't care what you do. Somebody gonna find fault every time. They gonna find something wrong with how you did it, what you did, take you too long. Oh, you didn't use this. They got all kind of different products out here now. You can go pick that one. They want, oh, why didn't you use that one? You didn't say which one to use. You just told me to use one. I mean, it's crazy, but that's just how this world is now. My little fat baby, she's sleeping now. I'm going to show y'all her. Let me see if I can flip this camera around. My little Chloe. That's Chloe, y'all. That's the little girl that gets all of my time now. I ain't thinking about nobody's job or none of that. I'm full-time taking care of my baby. She gets all of my time. All of it. Ain't that right, Chloe Pooh? She knock out sleeping. Yeah, my baby get all of my time now. And I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't. You know, I remember once upon a time, I used to pray to God and say, you know, I just want to make enough money where I could be able to stay home with my children. That was my prayer to God, literally. You know, I would work. I would do little businesses on the side, you know, have my own little businesses and hustles on the side. And I would always tell God, I just want to make enough money where, hey, Kim, hey, boo. I would tell God that I just want to make enough money to be able to stay home and take care of my children. And you know how they say when you ask God for something, You don't get to pick how he give it to you. And I never, I used to hear that a lot, but I never put much thought into that. And so now as I look back over my life and I see the things that I endured, you know, the things that I went through with my children, you know, because I have 2 other sons that are disabled as well. And, you know, anybody that know me know I went through hell with them boys. I went through hell with them. Sometimes I sit back and I cry, y'all, about the things that I went through with them. And I dedicated my whole life to them. I could be on somebody's job, and if they called me about my boys, I'm gone. School call, I'm gone. I got to go see about my children. You know, and that's just how I've always been, you know, and people will be like, well, you know, you got to work. Let me tell you something. If ain't for my kids, I ain't got to work nobody's job. I work my job to be able to take care of my children. But if I didn't have my children, I wouldn't need your job. So my children are going to come first regardless. And they always have. So, I didn't understand that God was just setting me up. He was setting me up for what I wanted. I kept asking for it. I kept asking for it. I kept saying, God, I just want to make enough money. I just want to be able to stay home with my kids. And he was setting me up for it, and I didn't even realize it. All those times I was being called to the school, all those times that I was having to stay out of work because my sons was being suspended. And most of the times they was being suspended for stuff that could have went better if the adults had handled it better. You know, that's what I was speaking about earlier about, you know, systematic, how they abuse their powers in schools and how they don't handle stuff the right way and how they taunt these kids and pick at these kids and do stuff, and they think just because they're adults that shit can fly because they're the adult. No, I'm that parent. I'm going to check into it. And if your shit is inconsistent with what my child is saying, you're under investigation until I deem you're not. And that's just how it went with me, always. You know, I'm not the parent that's fit to take your word over what my children tell me. I'm going to investigate. If my children are wrong, they going to know. I'm going to pull their ass to the side, and we going to have a talk, and I'm going to curse them the fuck out and let them know. You wrong. You did this. You shouldn't have did that. You should have did it this way, that way. But I'm going to deal with you later. For right now, let me deal with them. That's just how I always been. So, yeah, I for a long time I thought, oh God, you know, here we go again. I'm being called out of work. I can't go to work. I can't do this. I can't do that. I gotta be home with my kids. They out of school again. You know, they in trouble again. Always in trouble. Always in trouble. And so, most of my life has been dedicated to being home and taking care of my children. I have had the privilege of working outside jobs, but when doing those outside jobs, my children would be getting in trouble. You know, it's like every time I went to work, I came home to chaos, mayhem, something, you know? And so, but all the while, I'm asking God, you know, God, just let me make enough money to be able to stay home with my kids. Just let me make enough money to be able to stay home with my kids. God was fixing it. I was seeing it as, oh God, I can't never go to work because my kids are always in trouble. My kids are always in trouble. No, God was saying, you asked me for something. I'm trying to give it to you. He wanted me to trust him. Okay? Because now I have this attitude look at Chloe. Chloe was born with a disability where she couldn't eat as an infant on her own. My other children were born, they could eat on their own. So, even if I wasn't there, somebody could feed them. I could put them in daycare, somebody could give them a bottle. Chloe was born, she couldn't even do that much. She had to stay in the NICU. And by that time, I didn't even trust people with my kids. Like, my kids were rarely in daycares anyway, because I never really trusted people. I had a family member that had a daycare. They were in that. They were in their daddy's mother's daycare briefly when I had Junior. So I never really trusted people. When I lived in Georgia, they were in the daycare there, child care network. But after all of that, I never really trusted daycare centers and stuff with my children, because they were either sick all the time, or my older kids would come home and say, well, such and such, it was a bully in there. And as a woman, as a grown-up, you can't put your hands on other people's kids. So my kids would fight back, and they would end up kicked out. So again, I would be home with them. So, God was just giving me what I was asking him for. But the way he was giving it to me was so confusing. It was like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? I cannot go to work. My kids are always acting out. But I wanted to be a corporate woman, and I wanted to be a mother. So it was hard, but I wanted to be a business owner. I always wanted to be a business owner. So, like I said, I had few, business ventures here and there that I tried. For the most part, I won't say they didn't work out. I'll say I didn't work at them long enough. Because I was just worn down. After running with my boys, them always in trouble, always in something, I was just worn down. So I was like, okay, you know what? I need a break. And so I took breaks in between things. I still have my cleaning service. I've had that since 2015. I have done a few things here in Charlotte, but it has not been hot and heavy like I thought I was going to, because like I said, I'm always with my children, and there is no other place I'd rather be. And I have not gotten to a place yet where I sat down and thought about, okay, let me get up me some people that can do it for me. I just have not done that yet. So so now it's like, at this point in my life, I'm realizing that God was just setting me up for what I wanted. He was giving me what I wanted, and I didn't realize it. I'm realizing that God was just setting me up for what I wanted. He was giving me what I wanted, and I didn't realize it. The way he gave it to me, I can't say I would change it, because I wouldn't. Everything that I did for my children, I would do it again 1,000 times. Do I get tired? Yes. Do I get angry, frustrated? Yes. But I would do it again. I would do it again and again and again, because those are my children. I love them wholeheartedly. And so I'm actually happy, that I get to stay home and raise them and take care of them, because this world is so crazy now. When we were growing up, we could go outside and play. We could go all over. I'm talking about, our parents did not have to worry about where we were, who we were with, none of that. We could literally go outside in the morning and not come home until the sun was just about to go down, because they was heavy on be your ass in the house before them street lights come on. Or you would meet that leather scrap. But they didn't worry about us. We would be all over the place. I'm talking about all over. And anybody house we went to, we were most likely fed. all of that. They gave us snacks, food, whatever. Like, it was really like a village. Like, it was like a whole connection neighborhood full. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody was damn near kin on every side. Like, you go walk out the door, your cousin lived next door, your grandma lived next door, your auntie lived down the street. Like, it was a big circle of people, and everybody knew each other. Everybody want to call me while I'm on live. I got to return a bunch of phone calls, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting addicted to this. I'm gonna have to go in a minute, y'all. I done been on this thing since probably about 10 o'clock, but I'm gonna have to go in a minute, and I'm gonna come back to y'all after a while, because like I said, I done found me some stuff to talk about now. But yeah, we just had a wide array of people, man, that just kept us in rotation, and we did not have to worry about our safety. I mean, none of that. We didn't have to worry about anything. We were some of the most free-spirited children ever. Our childhood was so light. Okay, Kim. Okay, yeah, inbox me your number. But yeah, our childhood was so light. I'm talking about, we were like feathers just floating through. We didn't have a care in the world, y'all. They did. They kept us grounded. They genuinely cared for us outside of our mother's sight. Like, we just did not have to worry about anything. We get into fights. We fight all day. We fight. We roll around in the dirt. We beat each other crazy. But by the end of the day, we back friends. It was no guns. It was no knives. It was no... I mean, we just had some of the most cleanest fun, the most cleanest fights. It was fights. Don't get me wrong, because I was in a bunch. I fought girls and boys. I mean, I fought girls and boys. I mean, it was just, but it was clean fighting. Like, we didn't have to worry about... Yeah, my mama had the whole neighborhood. Everybody considered my mama their mama or auntie. And she's still like that today. She is. And so, and I'm like that. My kids, they'll go get friends, and they friends will come over here, and they be in the house, and I feed them. I feed the kids, because I was brought up like that. So, that's why I tell people, like, I don't know how to be no other way, because this is how I was raised up. This is who I am at heart. Like, even though the world has changed and so much has happened, like, a lot of people have conformed to the ways of this world. But some of us haven't. Some of us are still the same old people that we have been raised to be, because that's our hearts, and that's just who we are, and so, yeah. But now, these kids now, man, you gotta know, I keep my kids in my, like, Apple products. Like, I keep their location. Send me your location. Seriously. Like, there's 2 of my kids right now that don't have iPhones. I got to get them another iPhone, because their iPhone got broke. But when I tell you, I keep them on my find my people. Send me your location. Because if I can't track you, if I don't get no answer from you, I'm sending them boys to do a well check. I don't care. You can call me, oh, mama, you do too much. I don't care. And they know I will do it. They know exactly. My daughter, 24, be 25 in December, and I still treat her like Chloe. Chloe, 9 months old. I do. I'm like, I need to know where y'all going, who y'all gonna be with. If I can't know, you can't go. That's my motto. And they know that. They know that. And they respect that. And I'm grateful for that. Because a lot of people, a lot of kids they do it anyway. They do it anyway. And my kids know. If I can't know, you can't go. Simple as that. Because there ain't no police fist to come ring my doorbell and ask me no question that I can't give them no answer to. It might be a wrong answer, but I'm going to have an answer. You feel me? So, and we'll figure out what's wrong later. But I'm going to have an answer for them. I ain't ever fixed to say I don't know when it comes to mine. If ever something, they come knocking on my door talking about, well, we found your dog. My daughter's supposed to be this place, that place, and if they did say they find you someplace else, I'm gonna need to be able to give them some connected dots. We need to be able to connect some dots to try to figure out how you ended up there. Who put you there? Where were you last? Your last known whereabouts? All of that. I need to know what kind of car y'all gonna be traveling in. Hell, give me the license plate number. I need to know everything about these people that you're leaving with. Because if you don't come back home, I need to know who the police need to go see. And if the police can't get no answer from their ass, I need to know who I need to go see. So yes, give me all of the tea. And my kids know I'm not playing either. Not playing. If I can't know, you can't go. Simple as that. So, but yeah, it's 12 o'clock, y'all. It's Friday. My kids don't have class today. They are out of school on Fridays. We generally do fun stuff on Fridays. So, like I said, I'm gonna be back later because, I done figured out what to do on this thing. I done figured out how to get on here and run my mouth. So, yeah, we gonna be coming back because, like I told y'all before in a few of my other videos, I have a lot of stuff I'm working on, y'all. A lot of stuff I'm working on that I don't mention on a daily. But I would like for y'all to be along with me when I'm doing it. So I'm going to start going live more often because I want to share my life. I don't know what it is. Like I always said, I wanted me a reality show, and people think I'm crazy, but I don't care. I do not care. I'm heavy on the I don't care. Let me tell you something. Just like I was talking about that free-spirited child that we were growing up, I am a very free-spirited adult. Very free-spirited. I do what I want to do as I want to do it. I seek no approval from anybody. I don't care what anybody thinks. You may as well save your breath if you have an opinion, because all I'm going to do is hear it. I don't care. They say opinion is just like an asshole. Everybody has one and don't nothing come out of it but shit. So I don't care. I'm a free-spirited adult, So, yeah. And I'm going on 44 years old. And I'm trying to be like Jill Scott. I'm trying to live my life like it's golden. Because I done lived that motherfucker for too long. Like it was some, like it was tarnished or like some sterling silver or whatever the hell that other fake jewelry is. I'm trying to live my life like it's golden now. So I don't care what nobody thinks. I don't. So, yeah. So when y'all see me go live, y'all join my live, because I'm just a fun vibe. Like, all I want to do is have fun, laugh, cut the food. You know, I'm trying to I'm gonna have to work extra hard to keep myself at a healthy level this month and next month, because if you all have been following me, then you know that around this time last year was the first time I got the phone call that my dad went in the hospital, and he went in there for what was supposed to be tests. And he was in there for a few weeks before he went back home, you know, doing good. And then he was back in the hospital again. And then on April the 24th, he left me, y'all. And I always said I wasn't going to get on this here internet and cry for nobody. But I done been holding this in. I hold it in. I don't cry about it. I don't let my children see me cry about it. They don't know I'm hurting. As you can see, there's nobody around me right now. I'm by myself. So usually that's when I use the time when I'm alone to feel how I feel when it comes to my dad. And so I try not to feel, and because I'm always doing something, I'm always busy. And I'm the type of person, I always said I never let nobody see me cry. Never. But you know what? Like I said, I don't care anymore. You know, I don't care, because this is my life. This is me. And I don't care what nobody think about me. Because don't nothing you eat make me shit. Don't nothing you do affect me. And don't nothing I do affect you. At least, I hope not in a negative way. I want to affect people in a positive way. So, yeah, I mean, thank y'all. Thank y'all for embracing me, because, you know, I ain't gonna lie. I woke up this morning, y'all, and I clicked on my TikTok, and the first thing I heard was the song. Y'all heard that new song by Finesse where he's sampling Betty Wright? When I heard that song, y'all, I started crying, like literally crying, like I'm doing right now. I started crying. I'm like, Finesse done dropped the anthem for real, like, because that's how I am. Like, I know people talk about me behind my back, and I'll cut your ass off for no reason. I don't let you know, I just cut you off. And you know how he say, I want to spaz on you, but I just fucking get a bag on you. That's how I am. Like, when I heard that song, I was like, this nigga really done dropped the anthem for us. Like that song was just, it made me cry, y'all. I cried listening to that song. I cried, literally. You know, I'm in the bed laying down with my baby, and I'm bopping my head and I'm crying, like the tears just flowing listening to him rap that song. And I was just crying like, he really did. Just like, this song is really like, you know, I felt that. Like, so, and that's the era I'm in right now. Like, I'm not giving no explanation. If you do something to me Behind my back, I'm cutting you off, especially if I know I've been good to you. You know how he said they won't talk about the good, but they'll talk about the bad. They won't tell people how real you is, you know. Like he really did. You know, the song is just really, really
you get it from the bottom.
A real song. Like I was just like, you know what, this man.
Go ahead,
The song was just like, that song made me cry, y'all. I guess I'm just turning into a grown ass crybaby. Cause I got emotional off of a rap song. For real. And I guess it's because, you know, when you have been experiencing that for real, when somebody can really feel like when you know that you've been really dealing with certain stuff. Yeah, cut off season. That's right. With no explanation too, for real. Like I ain't gotta tell you what you did to me. It's just bye. You know, you just will never hear from me. And Lexus, you know I'm like that. I'm like a ghost. A motherfucker see me 1 minute, they won't see or hear from me no more. I'm like that for real. That's why when Finesse was rapping that song, that thing, I felt it. Like I felt it in my bones. I was like, okay, he really talking about some stuff here. Like, hey, Chloe, everybody speaking to you. Y'all, I'm just on here crying. But, this month and next month is going to be hard for me. So, I'm going to have to find me something to do to keep my spirits up. So, if I have to find my people online, then I might have to find y'all online because, you know, I see my kids, my children, and my husband. I see them every day. And, you know, I ain't going to even get to talking about that stuff right now. We going to save them conversations for another live because, you know, I got some stuff for y'all. I'm telling you, like, it's everybody speaking to you. Look, Chloe. Yeah, thank y'all. But yeah, Kim, I'm gonna give you a call. I'm gonna send you my number too. Chloe is 9 months. She actually turned 9 months on the 5th. Yep, yesterday actually made her 9 months. Ain't a stinky butt. Look at stinky butt. Yeah, she has Chloe has Prader-Willi syndrome, so she is on a G-tube. She has physical therapy on Thursdays and feeding and speech therapy on Wednesdays. No, she's not crawling or walking because she has low muscle tone. She has low muscle tone, so she's still in therapy. She's starting to try to roll over and stuff on her own though. She's seeing the orthopedic for her hip. Her joints are still in place, but one of her hips are higher than the other, and it's not closing down around the joint. So they're watching her, keeping surveillance to make sure that her joint doesn't slip out because she may need a brace. So if she's not crawling by at least a year old, they are looking at possibly putting a brace on her. So to try to help her out a little bit. But yeah, my baby is I'm also a firm believer in you know, I know God does everything for a reason. He doesn't make mistakes. And I tell my mom all the time, you know, I truly believe. Yeah, Chloe looking real crazy. Oh yeah, she is spoiled rotten. She don't ever cry though. She's She's such a laid back baby. She's just really laid back. Like, she doesn't cry. That's another part of Pray to Willie. It's harder for her to cry.
You finna get on that?
Why you want to get on it?
Oh, for a little bit.
Well, go ahead.
You need it?
No, I was just gonna sit down for a second right there, but I can sit at the bar right here. But yeah, I'm a firm believer in everything happening for a reason, and I tell my mom all the time, you know, I didn't know that I would be going through everything that I'm going through right now, but God knew. And you know, and when I say that, I'm speaking about my dad's death, my son being incarcerated, and I do have some other things, you know, like I said, that I'm not speaking of right now. Chloe's situation is just an addition, but it's not a part of the stuff that I was originally dealing with before her. But I have to say that she is a healthy distraction. Yes, sweetheart. Because, you know, my other children, they're older. I have a 2-year-old that keeps me on my toes. Cash, he's screaming right now. Cash, say hello. No. Stop acting up. Why you acting up? And I have a 5 and 6-year-old. So those are my little kids. So honestly, even with them being as small as they are, they're still old enough to kind of, you know, navigate for themselves. All I would have to do is, you know, really just keep them with a snack or something. You know, Cash, she likes to watch Coco Melon, Bebe Finn, you know, all of those little YouTube TV things. So with everything that I'm dealing with right now, mine is Chloe. I wouldn't have anything to focus on to really keep me from, you know, like people say, crashing out. And so Chloe is a healthy distraction for me. You know, having to care for her every day helps keep me grounded to where I have something healthy to do that keeps my mind from constantly staying on the things that would otherwise be eating away at me. And so I guess God knew that I would be dealing with these things. So he sent me, yeah, it's time, you know. You know, me and you talked about this for a long time. You know, I finally got up and said, you know what, I'm done, you know, holding back. And so Chloe's, you know, having to take care of Chloe every day, it gives me a healthy healthy something to focus on besides all of the other things that I'm dealing with. Because otherwise, y'all, I'd be crashing out around here. You know, you know, I would have nothing to say, well, I can't go to jail because my baby needs me, you know, but she needs me. So she's my healthy escape route. You know, if I have her to focus on, I have to take care of her. So that's my something to do. Yes, sweetheart.
Can I have something to drink?
Yes, you can. Junior, will you fix her something to drink, please?
And I want cereal too.
Man, listen.
Listen, you want cereal or you want something to drink? Because you're not getting both. So you pick one.
Cereal.
Okay. So she wants cereal, Junior. So but yeah, so you know, with Chloe, I have to think twice about things. You know, otherwise, you know, if I didn't have her, you know, there would be nothing for me to have to think about. I'd be around here letting my emotions rule me right now. You know, and so I thank God, you know, that he gave me, you know, the strength to, you know, her with a purpose, something that she really needs me. So, and I really needed her, and I didn't know that. I didn't know it then, the whole time I was pregnant, I was facing adversity. I'm coming with that too. Y'all just be patient with me. I'm coming with that. And I was, they always had me seeing the genetics counselors because of my age. They consider my pregnancies a geriatric pregnancy. Any pregnancy 35 or over, they consider a geriatric pregnancy. So, Cash, my pregnancy with Cash and Chloe, I was seeing the genetic counselors. So, and what they were looking for were, things that could possibly affect them. Being that I was an older woman and pregnant, anything that could possibly affect them that, would be passed down from, one, me or her father or our family, stuff like that. So they didn't really see anything. So that's the thing about Chloe. All of the genetics things came back fine, but when she was born, it was weird because for the first 2 days, I breastfed Chloe, I breastfed all of my children. So, I breastfed her immediately when she was born, and she latched on, and she was feeding. So, there was no cause for concern, not from me. I was noting her chart, every time she ate, her diapers, every time I changed one, and they were, every time the nurses came in, it was fine. And so on that second day, they came in and they was like, how much did she eat today? And I told them, and I don't remember when the decrease started, but I do know that, they were saying, well, she's not eating enough. She's not eating enough. And so, me, I was just looking like, but every time I put her on, she's latching, so then I started by, with the bottle. I would give her some milk and, we would measure how much she would drink, and she would take about 10 ounces. But they were still saying, by that third day, which is the 7th, she wasn't taking enough, or it was taking her too long. She was taking the 10, 15 ounces, but it was taking up to an hour for her to drink the milk. So I think that was the concern, that she was taking too long. And so they finally sent her to the NICU because also they had to keep putting her in the baby warmer. She wasn't holding her body temperature. Yes, sweetheart. You just want to call me, don't you? Yeah, you got your cereal. What do you need?
Cause you're not eating.
You don't need the laptop until you eat, Mom. Eat first, okay? And then you can get your laptop, okay? All right. So but yeah, so she ended up going to the NICU because they had to keep putting her on the baby warmer. She weren't holding her body temperature. And so, I just remember thinking to myself, oh my God, I don't want to leave this hospital without my baby. But that's what it was sounding like, more and more like, the lady said, well, we're going to, keep an eye on her for a few days. And I was just like, well, I'm letting y'all know now I'm not going home. So, y'all find me a room to stay in because I'm staying with my baby. And the lady was like, well, as long as we don't need, as long as nobody comes in with a delivery, you can stay. They was like, Medicaid, pay for it, you can stay. And so I stayed with her. I think I stayed with Chloe for a week. I stayed with Chloe for 7 days, y'all. 7 days. And my husband had some Alexas. And he brought one of the Alexas to the hospital. and the other he kept at home. So I was able to call the children, the other children, you know, and him when he went home to see about them. I was able to communicate with them through the Alexas. And so I remember thinking to myself, man, you know, I'm in this hospital. I don't want to leave my baby, but I got my other children at home. I need to go home to them. Chloe, she likes to fall back, y'all. I have to really keep up, catch her. She'll fall back in a minute. But yeah, I had to really like push myself. Like, you know, you got to go home. You know, it was hard. I did not want to leave her. You know, she was my 9th baby, and I had never gone home without her. And that's why I say I scroll TikTok every day. Like just this morning, you know, I was scrolling. I saw at least 3 people that was like, you know, in the hospital, just had babies. And, you know, they were posting their babies passed, you know, and I lay in my bed. I cry about stuff like that, y'all, because I'm like, you know, my heart really goes out to them. Like, I think about how fortunate I was and how that could have been me easily. You know, God didn't have no reason to not let that be me. You know, he didn't. And so when I think about that and how blessed I am, you know, it just makes me want to hold on to mine a little tighter. It makes me want to love on them a little more. And I think that's why I have such a problem, you know, with my grown kids. I have people tell me every day, why don't you just put them out? Put them out. No, I'm not putting my kids out, because where they gonna go? Out there in the streets, for life to beat them the hell down, and then they gotta come running back to me anyway. I gotta help them up anyway, because they my kids. Who gonna help them if I don't? You know, so I mean, I'd rather them get their stuff together, be prepared. You know, if they choose to go out there, fine. You know, but I ain't in no hurry. Kick my kids out, you know, just like on Power, how Monet had that big ass house, all her kids up in there, and they was living carefree. That's how I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be the next Monet, with all my kids in a big ass crib, and we just living without a care in the world. You know, I got 4 sons and 5 daughters, so I'm trying to I'm trying to keep my kids, you know, keep us all in the same house if I can. We can all be a powerhouse. Like, they could go make their own money, do what they do, you know. I don't care if they don't give me no money. I mean, my kids, my older sons, they go out and work, make money, they come back. Ma, you need something? You know, I'll let them give me money, or, you know, if they give me something, I'll take it. But I don't require them to give me anything. You know, I just don't, you know. And so, you know, I know a lot of y'all might say, wow, they ain't gonna stay with me and not pay nothing. And that's fine. But, you know, if I need the help, I know they are there. You know, my sons, if ever I need something, they go and they make sure that their mama is straight. So I don't worry them, because I know that if ever it comes down to it, I ain't gonna have to ask them. They gonna make sure anyway. So, but yeah, so, you know, I just, but yeah, let me get off this live. Thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna come back later, cause I need to call my sister / bestie / cousin. She all 3 in 1, y'all. And we usually be on the phone all day long. So, so I'm going to come back to y'all later on. Hey, Miracle.
Hey.
And my kids spoil rotten too, y'all. I can't breathe without these kids. If they miss me, mama, they calling me or they coming to find me. So, yeah, I don't, there's no place else in this world I want to be. You know, as long as I'm able to take care of my kids and, you know, God keep blessing me to be here. He keep blessing them to be healthy and happy. You know, that's enough for me. I don't want much. What I want, I got. So, I'm gonna come back later and talk to y'all. So later, how I end this thing.
Mama. Mama.
What is it, Mir?
Who is going to be Valentine's for?
Huh? Valentine is gone, Mir.
You still have Valentine's.
No, Valentine is gone. I still got Valentine, but that's my candy. You plotting on my candy. I got plans for that candy. You don't care. Well, you ain't getting my candy. See, y'all, she plotting on my Valentine candy. I got Valentine candy left over, and she plotting on it. You see, she plotting on my candy.
You only have 3 of them.
But I got plans for those. Right? You don't remember me saying I got plans for the candy? Huh? She don't care. They don't care, y'all. They be trying to get everything I get my kids. I have to share everything with them. I have to share everything with these kids, and nothing is mine. Nothing. All right, y'all. Later. I'm trying to see if I can save and share my live
We are your kids.
before I get off of it.
We are
Save and share my live
We are your kids.
before I get off of it.
We are your kids.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know how to get off this thing. Yeah, she is. She's sleepy. She was already asleep, and Junior brought her to me when he came down. So I'm getting ready to lay her back down. I'm trying to see, y'all, how I save my life. Anybody know how I can save my life? Is there a way to save it, or I gotta just
Are you still?
I'm trying to see how to save my life, honey.
Are you still recording the video?
I have 9 kids. I have 5 girls and 4 boys. Yep, I have a 24-year-old daughter. I have a 20-year-old son. I have a 18-year-old son, a 15-year-old son, a 14-year-old daughter, a 6-year-old daughter, a 5-year-old daughter, a 2-year-old son, and Chloe is 9 months. All of them are getting ready to turn a year older this year. Everybody has a birthday starting this month. Actually, Caitlin's birthday is March 29th, and she will be 7. So I actually have a birthday this month. I have a birthday next month. And then I have another one in August. And then I have 2 in September. And then I have... no, I have 2 in... I have one in April. Yeah, March, April. I have 2 in September, 1 in August, 1 in October, and 2 in December.
Mommy, catch a bug. so much.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I am 43 and not ashamed. I am. I appreciate that. I get that often. Yeah. So I always give credit to God above, because like I said, you know, he kept me. Click live. Oh, you might be right, because I showed on I don't even know how to get to that stuff though. You sleepy, mama? You sleepy? I'm trying to yeah, I still am young. When Chloe, you know what? I was doing the math in my head the other day, and somebody said um what you gonna do when Chloe turned 21? I said, when Chloe turned 21, I'll only be like 63, 64. I'll still be young. I mean, shoot. And if I take care of my body and take care of myself, my mama is 64 right now, and she's still working. My mama still get up and go to work every day. Like, she's still, yeah, I'm still, yeah, still young, still gonna be. I told my kids, when they all get grown, I'm gonna travel the world. I told them I'm gonna turn off my phone and I'm gone. Y'all, I'm lying. I'm gonna be right here for these kids to be mama, 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 and don't let them mess around and have no kids. I'll probably be raising their kids too. Because I just love babies. I love babies. I love children. I just always been a kid person. Like, I just have. I just, you know, even when I was growing up, I used to babysit all my cousins' kids. Like, I used to beg them to keep their children. You know, they knew that when they got ready to go out and stuff, they did not have to look far for a babysitter, because I was like, bring me them kids. Let me get the baby. Let me get the baby. Like, I wanted to keep the babies. Like, I always loved kids, and they always loved me. You know, people have babies and they like, I can't get them to stop crying. I can't get, and I be like, let me hold that baby. And I get the baby, and the baby just, you know, just, they like, how you do that? I do nothing. I'm just holding the baby, you know. And I talk to kids, you know, and I don't talk to them with all that boo-boo, bad bull crap that, you know, people be talking to kids, baby talk. No, you talk to these kids, they understand you, they know what you're saying, you know, you have to talk to them, you know. And so
Start making the line.
I always been good with kids. That's just been something that came natural to me, you know. My mama, she worked 2 jobs growing up. I was with my sister and brother at the age of 9. You know, I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking, you know, I'm cleaning the house. I was a young girl. You know, my grandma started me early. You know, I used to clean up so much. My grandma used to be like, put that damn broom down. I don't want no company today. I mean, I've been like that. That's just how I've been. Always been a in-house person. I loved cleaning, cooking. I love kids, babies, you know. I just always been that type of person to, you know, I love to keep a house and I love to take care of a kid. Like, that's just always been my thing. You know, I never cared much about being outside. Don't get me wrong. When I was a kid, I went outside. You know, I played here and there, but I didn't care much about that. You know, if you were looking for me, you were most likely to find me in the house, you know. And God bless the dead. If my cousin Dale were here today, Dale would tell you, man, we used to hate Renata because she used to make us sing on the side of the house. I used to have a gospel choir. I was 17 years old, and I loved Kurt Franklin. I was saved ever since I was 17. And I used to make my cousins, Dalton, Jamesia, Sherelle, Sia, Dale, Shar, all of them, all my cousins will tell you, I used to make them get on the side of the house. Victoria is a singing something, and she always been. I used to get her on that, get them on that. My grandma had the picnic benches. Y'all remember the picnic benches? My grandma had one of those on the side of the house, and I used to make them get up there. You know, the shortest one's on the top, the tallest was on the bottom. And I used to put that Kurt Franklin on, and I used to be out there making them sing. And we used to make up little dances and stuff. And boy, they used to hate me. I used to get up and go around, go to my anime house and round them up. They used to hate to see me coming. And my anime say, not outside, not at the door. But I know my anime, no, grandma, no, we ain't going with her today. She just want us to sing out there. We ain't want to do that today. I used to go in there and tell them, come on, I want y'all to come and sing with me. I used to make them get up. Boy, they used to hate to see me coming. I used to go around everybody up. I used to go to my Aunt Eileen house on Independence and get Shard and Rail and Dale. And I used to go to my Aunt Anime house and get Jamesia, Dalton, and Sherelle. I used to round them up. I used to go get them. And they used to come back. We used to be in a line. I had all of them following behind me in the line. They used to be just a talking trash. Man, it's hot out here. Why you got us out here? You just want us out here in this sun. We tired of doing this. I say, come on, y'all go. We going to sing today. Boy, they used to hate me. But I used to get them out there on the side of their house on that picnic bench, and we used to sing Kurt Franklin and the slow songs and the fast ones. I used to make them learn them songs, and we used to get out there and sing and do. Me and Victoria used to make up the little praise dance because Victoria used to go to church with her grandma and them on her daddy's side all the time, and in Hemingway. And they used to make us, she used to come back and help me make up them dances. And we used to be out there making up them praise dances for them to do. And they used to, we get out there in the yard and we do them. And then sometimes we get out there and we dance. We do R&B dance too. I used to love me some Tupac and Biggie. My two favorite songs was California Love and How Do You Want It. And with Biggie, it was Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes the words just hypnotize me. Boy, I used to have them songs on repeat. Used to make them dance and sing. And we used to be out there. We used to make up dances to Aaliyah, back and forth. Yeah, I used to have them kids out there doing some of everything. Boy, they couldn't stand me. Because they did not want to dance and sing. But I used to be like, that's what I used to like to do, you know. And so, but my little cousins knew that, you know, I had their back. You know, they, as much as we used to do that kind of stuff, you know, I also, you know, if it came down to anything else, I had their back and they knew it, you know. I don't get to talk to them much nowadays. But if you ask them all about me, I'm sure they all will have something 017494. 017494. I'm sure they all will have something funny or sweet to say about me, because that's how I was, and I never got into it, fell out with none of them. Everything was always, you know, I always either was with them or for them. You know, ain't none of them will never tell you I was against them. They'll never tell you we fought. We might have fought other people, but I ain't never fought with them. You know, Bang, God bless, God rest his soul. I used to babysit him. Tasha know I keep him. She want, Tasha, let me get that baby. Tasha used to be mad at me. I go bang on her window early in the morning. She be in there knock out sleep. Renata, what you want? I want that baby. Lord. Well, I can't say they don't. I'm talking what I think, but it never can say what somebody do or don't do. That's what I recall. But everybody got their own story. So some of them probably do. You know how that go. I can't never say what the next person won't do. I would hope not, but probably the distant ones. Now I'm gonna say that. Probably the distant ones. I probably got distant cousins, that will talk about me. Cause I don't talk to a lot of them. I don't, a lot of my distant family that I don't really talk to. But yeah. But hey, I already told you why that is though. We already talked about that. That be that jealousy. That jealousy. Yeah, envy is a motherfucker. When people envy you, that's their problem though. That's something they got to wallow with at night. I'm sure you don't lose no sleep at night, do you? I know you don't. So, yeah, but I got to clean up too. My kids, they get up in morning and nighttime. They night crawlers. I go to bed, they get up, and they be in here rambling, getting everything, eating up everything. But yeah, so today Friday, I might get me some drinks today, y'all. I ain't had me no drinks in a long time. I know that's right. Heavy on the hibernation too, cause your tail be sleeping for days. You really do. Yeah. I ain't know how I'm gonna save my life, y'all. I wanna save it. Oh wait, let me go in the settings and see what it say. Live recordings. I'm in the settings. Let me see what it say. I ain't know. It say share recordings with moderators. It's give me an option to receive it in my inbox. There come my son calling me again. I still forgot to add the money, y'all.
Correctional institution. What's called to be monitored and recorded.
And I still forgot to add the money, y'all.
Correctional institution. What's called to be monitored and recorded.
But yeah, so my son is calling me again, y'all.
Oh my God,
I went in the settings and did for them to send it to me in my inbox after I get off. So hopefully that worked. Does it say is it under live recordings and share recordings with guests?
God, man. Go on, have this shit fucked up, man.
Let me see. Junior, what's wrong, honey?
Mama, this Wi-Fi is lagging.
Well, don't tear up my computer because of it, please. Don't tear up the stuff, honey. I turned on for it to be shared with me in my inbox, so hopefully it will be. But I'm going to come back later on. I got to call my mama back and stuff. She done called me too, so she probably worried about me too since I ain't answer. So I'm going to come back to y'all later. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I done been on this live for almost 3 hours. I'll see y'all later.